Greetings of the day, students. Welcome back to our online classes. So in the previous class we had a discussion on the first four paragraphs of the chapter, the Elixir of Life, right? In the previous class, first four chapters, in this chapter, first four paragraphs have been completed. Now we'll begin with the fifth paragraph. Okay. So here there is nothing which adds so much to the beauty of the countryside as water. Be it just a little stream trickling over the rocks or a little pond by the wayside where the cattle quench their thirst on an evening. Right? So what happened? So what C.V. Raman is conveying us here, right? So what he is saying? The elixir of life. What is that elixir of life according to him? The water. Yes, he's saying water gives very much beauty to the countryside. What do you mean by countryside? Our village sceneries. Okay. So what he is saying? So now the water is falling from these rocks, trickling slowly. It is flowing. Beside the road. The cattle are coming and drinking the water. They are just quenching their thirst. So imagine that scene. The water is falling slowly and cattle are coming to drink that at evening time. Just look at how beautiful it is. How beautiful it is. So that's what he says. The water gives beauty to the countryside. Another example he gives here, that is regarding the rain-fed tanks. What is that? The rain-fed tanks. Okay, what is that? Rain-fed tanks that are so common in South India, alas, often so sadly neglected in their maintenance or a cheering side when they are full. So, first thing, what do we need to understand here is what is the rain-fed tanks? What is the rain-fed tanks? So when the rain comes, here and there will be the storage of the water, right? That place we call catchment area. So that tanks we call rain-fed tanks. We call rain-fed tanks. This kind of rain-fed tanks are very popular where in the southern India, South India. Okay, and they are badly neglected. It means people of the South India, they are not taking the use of it. Okay, and now these rain-fed tanks also gives a cheerful, very delightful, what you can say, sight. Okay, then they are of course shallow, but this is less evident since the water is silt-laden and throws the light back, and the bottom doesn't therefore show up. They are shallow. We know that they are shallow. Shallow means what here? Shallow means which is not deep, Okay. So here, and also what we can say, it is not clear, less evident, less clear, because rain-fed tanks will be full of silt-laden. Silt-laden means it will be full of mud. That's what we want to get to know, how deep it is. How deep it is, we won't get to know. But to see what happens, it looks very shallow. Okay. Then these tanks play a vital role in South Indian agriculture. Yes, these tanks helps. What kind of tanks? These rain-fed tanks helps in the what is that? Southern South Indian agriculture. Then some of these tanks are surprisingly large, and it is beautiful sight to see the sunrise or set over one of them. So what they are saying, and they are normally shallow, small one, but some are very large. There behind them, it is very, very, very beautiful to see the sunset and the sunrise. Okay, and now what happens? Water in the landscape in that catchment area, that place. Yes, maybe compared to the eyes in the human face, it reflects the mood of art being bright and gay. Gay means what here? Cheerful, right? When the sun shines, turning to dark and gloomy when the sky is overcast. So what happens, what Sethi Raman is doing here, he is comparing rain-fed tanks to the human eye. How, when we look at our eyes, we will get to know we will in the which kind of mood. Yes, when you will get to know, when you look at the rain-fed tanks, you will get to know what kind of climate we have. Yes, if it is bright and gay, we will get to know, it is sunshine. If it is dark and gloomy, we will get to know it is cloudy, like that. Okay, overcast means what here? Cloudy. Overcast means what? Cloudy. Yeah. Next, I hope the 5th paragraph is completed. Now we are moving to the 6th paragraph. One of the most remarkable facts about water is its power to carry the silt or finely divided soil in suspension. Yes, I just want you to understand what is suspension. Suspension means here the state of water with the very small particles of sand and other particles. So here I just want you to refer the glossary to understand clearly what is that. Yes, so what he is saying, what is the remarkable fact? One of the best fact about the water is it has the capacity to carry the particles with it, right? Silt means what here? The mud. Okay. Finely divided soil into suspension. Suspension means it is a characteristic of a water, right? What is that characteristic? It carries lot of particles with it when it will be flowing, when it will be moving, right? Then this is the origin of the characteristic color of the water in rain-fed tanks. So you can see when you look at the rain-fed tanks, what is the color of the rain-fed tanks? Do they look like very bright, a white color? No, they look like the color of the soil, because while it will be moving, it carries mud with it. It carries mud with it. That's what the color of the rain-fed tanks is, same as the soil. Same as the soil. Okay? Then, this color varies with the nature of the earth in the catchment area and is most vivid immediately after a fresh inflow following rain. So, sometimes what happens, it depends what kind of area it is, right? Depends on the color of the rain-fed tanks. Next, what they say, immediately after the rain, they will be in a vivid color. Vivid means what? Very bright color. Okay? And now, swiftly flowing, very quickly moving. Swiftly flowing means what? Very quickly moving. Water can carry fairly large and heavy particles. That is true. When the water will be having a very fast momentum that carries a lot of things with it. Yes? That already you know, and you might have sensed it, right? During the floods, you might have noticed, right? What happens? The water carries even the vehicles, right? And now the finest particles, however, remain floating within the liquid in spite of their greater density and are, of course, extremely small, but their number is also great. So what happens? When the large mass particles will be there, what happens? They move and they float in the water. Yes, and small particles, they are also will be in the water in the large density. The density will be more. And I hope you are clear with the 6th paragraph. Now we are moving to the 7th paragraph. Now, the flow of water has undoubtedly played a great part and beneficent one in the geological process by which the soil on the earth's surface has been formed from the rocks of its crust. So now what they are saying, one of the best work geologically, what happened by the water is the creation of the soil. How the soil is created on the earth? That the water, the flowing of water, what it has done, it has, when it will be flowing, it hit to the rocks many times, and the rock broken into small pieces, and finally it became a mud. It became a mud or a soil. Yes, so that was the best and beneficent work done by the water. And now the same agency means what? From the water. The same agency means who is here? The water. What happened? However, under appropriate conditions can also play a destructive. What do you mean by destructive? Harmful part and wash away the soil, which is the foundation of all agriculture. Yes? So what happens? And if allowed to proceed unchecked, can have the most disastrous. Disastrous means what? Tragic, harmful, devastating, or terrible, right? And effects on the life of the country. So we have clearly understood in the first line what is that. Water has done best and beneficial work. What was that? It has done something. What is that? It has created the soil. And the next thing is the same water can also take away, when it will be moving very fast, it may take away lot of soil with it. When it is unchecked. When it is unchecked, what happens? That will be the cause of soil erosion. When soil erosion happens, it will be very difficult to continue agriculture in any country, right? And now, the problem of soil erosion is one of the serious import in various countries and especially in many parts of India. And the soil erosion is also, it is there everywhere in the world and also more in India, many parts of India. The conditions under which it occurs and the measures by which it can be checked deserve the closer study. So now what C.V. Raman is saying, why the soil erosion happens, how do we need to prevent that, how do we need to preserve our soil. Yes, this is going to be a very important concept and everybody has to study it very closely, right? And by end of this line we have completed 7th paragraph. Now we are moving to the 8th paragraph. Soil erosion occurs in successive steps, the earliest of which may easily pass unnoticed. So what they are saying, soil erosion happens. Yes, it happens. How? Not in a night, not over a night. Yes, it won't happen at one time. It happens in a successive steps. Continuously happens. Okay. Then when we do not notice it, when it is unnoticed, and in the later stage, the cutting up and washing away of the earth is only too painfully apparent in the formation of a deep gullies and ravines. Later, when we unnotice these all things, what happens? It creates some gullies and ravines. Gullies means gaps and some passes it will create. Okay, and which make all agriculture impossible. Imagine just when we will be having some passes or gullies in our land. Do you think it is possible to continue the agriculture there? It is really impossible, right? And now we are moving. Sudden burst of excessively heavy rain resulting in a large runoff of surplus water are the principal factors in causing a soil erosion. Very much important cause which causes for the soil erosion is when the excessive amount of water comes from the rain. Excessive amount means a particular number of amount will be there. Yes, when something surpluses, extra comes, that is only excessive. When sudden burst of rain comes, what happens? Excessive water comes. So when such kind of water comes, what happens? That water wash away all the soil. So that will be the fundamental reason for the soil erosion. Contributory, yes, which helping to that, or secondary cause are the slope of the land. Secondary cause, what happens is, so when we will be having the slope land, what happens if the water comes slowly also, what happens? The soil will go away with that. And removal of natural protective coat of vegetation. Yes, when we natural coat of vegetation means the plants or the trees which are holding the soil tightly with their roots. When we cut them, what happens? the soil will be loosened. That loosened soil will be washed away when the water comes. Yes, the existence of ruts. Ruts means the deep paths. Now, imagine if continuously some vehicles move or in some lands, some things will some paths will happen. That paths we call ruts, right? Along which the water can flow with rapidly gathering momentum. When some tracks will be there, automatically the water will move very fast through that tracks, right? And the absence of any checks to such flow, incredibly large quantities of precious soil can be washed away if such condition exists, as is unhappily too often the case. So, when we do not notice them, what happens? The large amount of soil will be washed away. Yes, and such kind of situations, and we do not notice them. Such kind of many situations happens. Okay. Thank you, students. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this video. So we have completed up to 8th paragraph. In this, we have understood how water gives beauty to the countryside, as well as we have studied about the rainfed tanks. We studied about the beneficial part and destructive part of the water, and the soil erosion and causes for the soil erosion. In the next class, we'll discuss about how can we prevent the soil erosion and what is the importance of water and how can we use water in our daily life properly and get the wealth from it, and how to preserve the water and how to construct the civilized forest. What are the applications of civilized forest? We can discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you, students.